Both the LA Chargers and the Pittsburgh Steelers have pumped a lot of resources in the offensive line in recent years. Pittsburgh has, 3 recent number 1 draft choices. So does the Chargers have multiple number 1s as well on the OL. But Pittsburgh's offensive line is healthy. The Chargers' offensive line, with Joe Alt the latest to go down with a season-ending injury, not so healthy. And that certainly affected the point spread for this one. Looking at my Odds Logic live odds screen right now, this was 3.5 at the open for the Chargers, 3 most of the week. Now I'm seeing mostly 2.5s out there for LA. Total 44.5. We've seen under money. The markets are very worried about how LA is going to move the football against this Pittsburgh defense. And I understand that. I get it. But one thing that I'm confident about is that the LA Chargers have the better of the 2 quarterbacks. Let's break it down. Teddy covers WagerTalk.com with a big game breakdown. We talked about the number for this contest, and certainly Sunday Night Football going to attract a lot of eyeballs. Harbaugh and Herbert versus Tomlin and Rodgers. And of those combos, the Harbaugh-Herbert combo is the one I trust a whole lot more than the Tomlin-Rodgers combo right now. Yes, the offensive line injuries are a concern for the Chargers. Yes, the running game is a concern for the Chargers. But you know what? They're facing a defense that hasn't been good this season. And I know the Steelers coming off a solid showing last week. It's certainly been the exception rather than the rule for Pittsburgh to have a good defensive showing. But, they did a nice job against Indy. That being said, they forced 6 turnovers in that ballgame and only won by 1 score. I don't see them forcing 6 turnovers here. And if they do force 6 turnovers here, I ain't going to win with the Chargers. I can tell you that. But really and realistically, I'm not impressed with Pittsburgh offensively. I continue to be unimpressed with Pittsburgh offensively. And again, this team has been able to move the football in spurts. But Aaron Rodgers, let's call it what it is right now. Aaron Rodgers is a dink and dunk guy. All right. Aaron Rodgers is not an elite downfield thrower at this stage of his career. Justin Herbert, you read the Harbaugh quotes every week after the game, and he's talking about how great Justin Herbert was and all the things that he did. And Justin Herbert has basically single-handedly won the Chargers, 2 of their last 3 games, with incredible performances under pressure. No, he didn't have a lot of time to throw to, but I'd say he's got the better weapons of the 2, and he's the better quarterback of the 2 right now. So I got the Chargers with the better QB, the weaker offensive line, but the better quarterback. I got the Chargers with the at least as good, if not better, receivers. And what about the 2 defenses? Because in my mind, this is where the real mismatch is in this ballgame. I know it's Tennessee, but the Chargers held Tennessee to 206 total yards, 10 first downs, 0-2 in the red zone. They had a goal line stand from the 1-yard line in that contest that kept Tennessee out of the end zone. That's what LA is capable of doing on the defensive side of the football. This is not a joke of a defense. This is a defense that was built to win the AFC West, to beat Patrick Mahomes and company, to beat Denver and company. And it's a defense that has absolutely lived up to those expectations throughout the course of the season. They had 1 bad game against Indy, and really they kind of a bad second half against Miami. But other than that, this defense has been nails all year long. Pittsburgh's defense has been rough basically all year long. I know, again, they forced a turnover against Indy last week, but they didn't, even with all those turnovers forced, Colts moved the ball up and down the field in that ballgame. They gave up 35 to Green Bay the previous week. The same team that Carolina held to 16 or 13 points. Pittsburgh got lit up by. And 33 to Cincinnati the week before that. This is not vintage Tomlin defense. They've spent a whole lot of money. The most expensive defense in the NFL. They got a ton of veterans on this crew. And I'm not going to say there's guys collecting a paycheck, but Pittsburgh's defense hasn't been that good. So, again, the money's poured in on the dog for this one. The wise guys worried about the Chargers injury report. And I don't blame them. I get it. But I still think the Chargers are the better of these 2 teams. If I'm going to get involved with LA And Pittsburgh on Sunday night, I'll be laying the points with the favorite, not taking them with the underdog. Boy, if you like this type of analysis, we appreciate the likes. That's all we ask for. Boom, hit that like button. Thank you. Done. Comment below. Tell us what you think about this game. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the Wager Talk YouTube channel. We're approaching 250,000 subscribers right now. Insane numbers. Really. And we're putting out good content every single day. Not just my videos. There's like 8 hours a day of programming content on Wager Talk TV right now. And all different sports from all different guys. Get instant alerts when videos go live. Subscribe to the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Thank you if you have not done so already. And of course, check out my homepage, wt.buzz/TC, or visit the website, wagertalk.com. Get on board this weekend. And best of luck with all your bets all weekend long. Stay tuned right here on the channel for more quality video content from Wager Talk TV. Cheers.